can't wait to introduce you to all our speakers. But before that, let me give you a brief introduction of today's event. Unitas Online is a series of webinars where our future dragons, parents, guardians, and school officials may learn more about our beloved university. In today's event, we will be focusing on the 6-year integrated university program that is unique to UA&P. And to carry out this discussion, we've invited 2 school officials to introduce to you the program, as well as one of our very own students to share her experience. To those who have sent questions in advance, we have taken these into consideration and have informed the respective speakers to address these questions. But in case you have more, please indicate it in the chat box and we will tackle it during the open forum. Now, to start off the program, let me introduce our first speaker, the Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Amado Saquido. He will be talking about the various courses our 6-year program has to offer. Good morning, Dr. Saquido.
Good morning. There's a brief description of the 6-year integrated program. And that description or the title has 3 parts. One is that it's 6 years, it's integrated, and it's a university program. It lasts 6 full years. Integrated means it's one whole program. And university, that it's at college level. The first 2 years fulfills the requirements of a senior high school. And then the next 4 years will earn you a bachelor's, and if you're qualified, a master's degree. We have 6 different fields where you can earn a master's degree. One of them is humanities. The next one is integrated marketing communication and media and entertainment management. The first is delivered by the College of Arts and Sciences. The second is by our School of Communication. The fourth specialization is industrial economics from our School of Economics. The next one is political economy from our School of Law and Governance. And the 6th one is management, Master of Science in Management from the School of Management. To understand the 6-year university program, we have to look at a bit of history. In 1995, when we became a university, we pioneered the so-called 5-year program. It's an integrated program where the first 3 years you earn a bachelor, Bachelor of Arts, major in humanities, and the next 2 years you earn an MA or an MS in a specialized field. The first 3 years, the AB, major in humanities, contains what we call our core curriculum. It is basically a liberal arts program where you have literature and history, arts, math and science, philosophy and theology, all the components that make up a bachelor's degree in liberal arts. And the next 2 years is a full-time master's program where you find all the specialized subjects in these fields. The reason for that program is we believe that the best preparation for any field of specialization is the humanities, the liberal arts. It gives you a grounding in the skills you need to tackle the professional subjects. It gives you a broad mind. It enables you to think and to communicate and the like. So that's the 5-year program. Actually, we're not the only ones doing this. Many other universities in the United States are doing this. And I'd like to show you another one that shares this idea. Let me change my background. So this is the slide that Steve Jobs used when he presented the first iPad in 2010. It's a single slide. You can see him there, and it reads uh, Liberal Arts Street and Technology Street. It's an intersection. He said that there's something magical about this intersection. And Apple, it's part of its DNA to be in this intersection because blending the humanities and technology enables Apple to produce products that can make your heart sing. The iPhone, the MacBook, the iPad, are the Apple products that are so nice. It resonates with a person because of the blend of technology and the liberal arts. So that is what we are trying to do as well at UA&P. We believe that the humanities, the liberal arts, is the best preparation to enter the professional specialization. So people say now that skills can be easily acquired and can be replaced. People can be replaced because if the skills they have, but what cannot be replaced are the people who can think, who can be creative, who can communicate, who can relate with others. So that is what the liberal arts provides. So we still believe in that. So that's the 5-year program. But then enter K to 12 and the resulting changes in the curriculum of the university. Basically, 2 years was added to high school, the senior high school, and then at least 1 year's worth of general education courses were taken from college and moved to senior high school. So the whole thing has changed. And our response in UA&P is a 6-year program. So now the first 2 years contains a lot of what we were giving in the first 2 years of college. A good part of our core curriculum is in the first 2 years. And then the next 4 years will now contain the remainder of that core curriculum and the specialized courses to give you the bachelor's degree, and if you qualify, to earn the master's degree. So after 2 years, you enter college proper, and then the first 2.5 years is the college level, and the next 1.5 will be the master's degree. For those who will not proceed to the master's degree, they will earn the bachelor's in 3 years. So that's basically how it is structured. And then what happened to the 5-year program? It's still there. Those who finish senior high school from other schools, when they enter UA&P, it will take them 5 years to course what the ones in the 6-year program will finish in 4 years, because they will have to take still a good portion of our core curriculum added to their bachelor's and master's program, so that the whole preparation for your professional specialization will be there. But we can say that the whole program is contained in the 6 years, because we do not have like control over what others take in other senior high schools before they enter UA&P. Yeah, so that's basically how it is. I can answer questions later on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that great introduction to our 6YP courses, Doc Saquido. I hope that gave you guys a good idea of what to expect from the different courses, so you can be sure you choose the ideal course for yourself. But I'm sure that some of us still have questions about the program, since it can't exactly be labeled as a typical senior high school program. In fact, professors refer to our grade 11 and 12 students not as senior high school students, but as junior college students. So to give you guys an idea of what this junior college is like, there's no one more qualified to do so other than our very own program director. She has a bachelor's degree in early childhood education, as well as a master's degree in educational studies, which she took up at the University of Queensland. Allow me to introduce Ms. Margeaux Valdez.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning, and I am very pleased to share with you to talk about the first 2 years of the 6-year integrated program, which is the junior college program. So let me just share my screen. Which one here? This one. Where is it? Okay, sorry. Thank you. To give you just a summary of what Dr. Saquido talked about a while ago. So it is a 6-year integrated program, and it has 3 phases. So the first 2 years is the junior college, which is equivalent to senior high school. The next 3 years is the undergraduate degree or the bachelor's, and the final year, should they qualify, is the master's degree. So why is there a babushka doll image at the left? Because I'd like you to think of the 6-year integrated program precisely as that. So it is an integrated program, meaning programs are nested within the bigger 6-year program. So the first program, the initial phase, is the junior college program, and it can be referred to as the tiniest babushka doll that you see there on the left. Okay. And okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're just trying to sort that out. All right. So as Dr. Saquido mentioned, now we're very pleased to share with you that we have 6 6-year programs available for those who are interested to complete all 3 phases. So we have, in addition to the 5, is the most recent one, which is the Media Entertainment Management. So that's a master's in Media Entertainment Management. And so why do we call it junior college? So I think that's something that you have to understand, that it is called the junior college precisely because we treat our students like college students as much as possible. And we do have the same expectations of our students as well, that for all intents and purposes, they are mainstreamed into the university. Therefore, they should have the qualities of a student who is ready for college. If you notice, we have the word junior as well. And if you notice, it's in a smaller font, just because to highlight that college is what we are preparing them for. And at the same time, we are providing the necessary scaffolds and support for their developmental stage in order to help them thrive in the university setting. Okay, so as Dr. Saquido mentioned, we have the liberal arts curriculum, and junior college plays a central role in delivering that, as our curriculum focuses on the liberal education that UA&P is known for. So upon completion of junior college, they may move to a different university after completing junior college or shift to other courses in the university. So this means that we are recognized in the Department of Education as a senior high school, but in the university, we refer to ourselves as junior college, precisely because we want to imbibe that culture of the program being a preparatory program for the university courses we offer at UA&P. Okay, so college is just ahead. So I'd like to think of the junior college program really as a transformative program for those students coming from different junior high schools to really be more prepared and capable to adjust to the academic rigors of a UA&P education. So how is it like college? You might be wondering, because it says junior college, but how junior is it and how college is it? So it is college in many ways. So there are no class advisors and student diaries. So as compared to other senior high schools, there's no way for the teachers or the class advisors to directly communicate with the parents as regularly. Of course, this does not mean that we have zero communication, but rather we would just like to communicate that at this stage, we believe that students should have more initiative, responsibility, and discipline to directly contact their teachers about any concerns that they may have. We also do not have report cards where, like if you remember in other junior high schools or senior high schools, you would meet quarterly with the class advisors and you pick up the report cards and you sign and you return. That's not happening here in the university. We do have an online portal where grades can be accessed. So each parent will be given a parent pin, which will allow you to see the midterm grades and the final grades of your child. So we do not have parent-teacher conferences, but of course, if you would like to request for a meeting with me for certain issues, or if there are certain issues that I need to discuss with you about your child, we can of course set a meeting. And we communicate with parents as needed. So we do assist the junior college students in a way that, in a sense that we make sure that parents are informed about any important information that they should know. Okay, so how is it like college in terms of communication? So as Dr. Saquido mentioned earlier, the liberal arts education focuses on developing skills of our students to be able to communicate and interact with other people. And part of that is to be able to communicate and interact directly with their teachers. So students are expected to be in direct contact with their teachers. So as in college, we do have consultation hours available wherein teachers will allow students to, set a meeting with them as needed for any clarifications or other issues. We do have a learning management system called Canvas, where we're actually conducting all our online classes this semester, and we've been using it for the past 3 years now. And it is a great tool for the students to reach out to the faculty and for the teachers also to give feedback to the students. So what about how else is it like college? So in terms of student organizations, students, even as junior college students, can already participate in extracurricular activities. So that means they can interact freely with the other students in the university. So as you can see, this is part of our training of our junior college students. You want them to feel as much as part of the university community as much as possible. So as such, what happens is for students who have joined the 6-year integrated program and have joined us in the university as early as junior college, they manage to really adjust and sort of get a step ahead of the other college freshmen who come here to study just for university. Proof of that is that most of the officers in student organizations are usually from the junior college program. They have, I guess, because the junior college program has really equipped them with the necessary leadership skills, communication skills to really thrive in the university. So of course, it's important to note though that especially for the incoming year 1 students or the grade 11, we do discourage them from joining at the beginning just because we would like them to adjust first to the university setting. And but of course, it does not mean that they're prohibited from joining, but we do discourage that, especially for the year 1 students, because they can get a bit shocked upon joining the program, okay? Because it is a very demanding academic program. And sometimes when students from other schools, junior high schools, come here to join us for junior college, and to proceed to the 6-year program, they get very excited with a lot of the extracurricular activities, and they're joining all of these orgs, and then they forget about their academics. So of course, we do not want that to happen. We want them to succeed, and part of that is learning how to manage as well themselves in this new setting. So our Wednesdays, we do not have scheduled classes on Wednesdays, just as how it is in the university, just like the other university students. So Wednesdays are opportunities for students to meet with the mentor and to meet with group mates for group work or engage in org work. So they're very active in extracurriculars. They can spend that Wednesday for that. It's also an opportunity for faculty to give makeup classes or sometimes departmental exams. And we also have alternative education programs such as career education activities, positive youth development sessions, and guidance activities. So how is it like high school, you might be wondering? Well, basically, this is one of the more striking things that I could think of. In terms of suspension of classes, we follow Pasig City's proclamation for high school. And we also have a small class size as in other senior high schools. So in fact, it's probably smaller than most senior high schools. So it's usually around 30 to 35 students maximum. Okay, so again, and I just wanted to highlight that junior college is precisely that. Think of it as your children going to a college setting, and think of it as a preparatory program for them to thrive in the University of Asia and the Pacific. We also provide additional student support. So don't think that, it's like we're just throwing the students into the ocean and they have to learn how to swim by themselves. So it's not like a sink or swim kind of program that we have, because we do provide additional student support in terms of connecting ourselves with the Center for Student Affairs. So they're the ones in charge of student development, of organizations. They're also in charge of the guidance office where students can go for counseling and also for mentoring. For the junior college program, since at this stage, they're a little bit confused, I can say, like as to what they would want to take up for college. Sometimes they enter into the university with many different interests and ideas, and they only find out like after 1 year of studying in junior college that maybe I'm a little bit more of a humanities student rather than a management student. And the guidance office and the junior college program provides a program wherein we help students identify what are their career strengths, what are their areas of interest, so that we can better assist them in choosing an undergraduate course. And mentoring, of course, is something that the university offers to all students. So it's an opportunity for students to have an adult friend in the university who can guide them and assist them in adjusting to the demands of college life. So you might be wondering, what is the new normal in junior college? So, well, currently, just to give you a glimpse, you're probably wondering how we're rolling out junior college this sem. So for our academic calendar, for the first semester, we divided it into 2 terms, wherein in each term you will take up 4 to 5 courses, or a total of 12 to 15 units per mini term. And 1 mini term will run for 9 weeks, which includes the finals week. So this is our schedule currently. Term 1 began August 10 and it will end at October 7. So in fact, our students just finished the midterms last week. And term 2 is October 12 to December 12. So all in all, by the end of the first semester, they would have completed around 8 to 9 subjects. So we also deliver our courses via Canvas. Canvas is our learning management system. And we have currently a mix of synchronous and asynchronous sessions. So what are synchronous sessions? These are sessions that are conducted online at the same time. So the teacher and the students are engaged in a learning activity together online. And there are also asynchronous sessions. Of course, we would also like to communicate to the students as much as possible in a way that will not leave the others at a disadvantage, the others who do not have a stable internet connection or are currently based in the provinces. That's why we have decided to come up with a mixed delivery of learning sessions. Okay, and so submission of assessments are also done online, so we do not allow students to come in the campus for safety reasons during this time. So lastly, I just wanted to give you an overview of how we expect students to behave. And there are just 3 cardinal rules for junior college. And number 1 is we do expect them to exercise their freedom responsibly. I think that's very much integrated into what liberal education is, being able to exercise their freedom. Well, as you can see, as compared to other senior high schools, we're not as structured in some ways. Like we do not have school uniforms. We do not have like the same daily schedule, since we're more like a college schedule, where you have classes in different blocks of time. So we do expect our students to be responsible. And if they aren't responsible yet and disciplined enough at this stage, we do expect them to develop that. Okay, second, we do value integrity and intellectual honesty. And lastly, respect is something that we really highlight in the program. So through the program, we are hoping that students get to also have the values imbibed in them. So it's not really just like an academic program, but we'd like to see it a transformative program that will really prepare them for university life, especially in UA&P. And that's all I'd like to talk about for this morning. Thank you very much. And I'll hand you over back to Franco.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Max, for giving us an overview of junior college. I think junior college actually really helps students adjust to college life, especially with all the freedom we're given. And of course, we always have the guidance of our mentors, but then it's really something that needs a little getting used to. So the fun's not over yet. Our last speaker is a 3rd-year student under the 6-year program who captains the university swim team while also consistently making it into the president's list, an achievement not many can claim so easily. Today, she will be sharing her experience with the 6-year program. Please give it up for Marianna Racho.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Marianna Racho, and as Franco mentioned, I am a 3rd-year student in the 6-year program, meaning I actually just graduated from the junior college or senior high school just last month. But what a lot of people actually don't know about me is that when I was in junior high school, I was pretty much more of a laid-back student. You know, I would kind of try to skip class and I wouldn't really pass my requirements on time. However, once I got into UA&P, I was able to pull myself together. So now I'm here, the captain and founder of the UA&P swim team and a high honor student. I think that one of the main things that helped me do this was the fact that I'm surrounded by a really great community that inspired me to be better. I found myself a really great group of friends who encourage each other to do well, a mentor whom I can rely on if I need any advice, and great professors that actually really want us to learn. And aside from this, the senior high school experience that I experienced, it was unconventional, like Miss Mag said, because in a sense, it's a nice transition point between high school and college. I didn't really find myself stressing about college life because I was able to ease into it. Many professors considered the fact that we are still pretty much high school students, so they guided us, but at the same time, they definitely challenged us, which allowed us to adjust to the workload, standards, schedule, and all of those things that college life would typically bring. And also, aside from that stress that we just didn't have, because of all the guidance, I didn't have to worry about college entrance test because once you're in the 6-year program, you're in. And I'm really happy that UA&P allows us to do this, especially since ever since I was actually first year, I already knew that I was going to stay in UA&P. So I did not have to stress about taking other tests, reviewing for them, and actually getting in. And so it just made me really feel at home. Now, when it comes to the education, this is another reason why I really wanted to stay. Being in the 6-year program has really helped me a lot because we're able to take subjects directly related to our course despite being in the humanities strand. So a lot of people, think of other senior high schools because they're able to take STEM, ADM, but here we're taking humanities, but at the same time getting subjects like electives in our 2nd year so that we can actually be integrated really into our course. So aside from that, being in humanities has really helped me like not only learn more, but it really helped me with my other subjects because with the humanities strand, it has so many subjects that don't just give you information, but they actually teach you how to think. And I think that really helped me with a bunch of my subjects. And on top of that, we have really, really great professors to teach us their craft. Honestly, when I got into UNP, I got super excited to learn. Like compared to before when I was just a laid back student and as long as I got decent grades and I was good. Like no, now I was genuinely excited to learn. Not everything was for the grade. I was genuinely interested because the topics and the way that they were taught, they're just really enticing and they just pull you and they're just like learn more. But I think that the most important lesson that I gained from UNP was that it was the skills like I self-discipline, teamwork, and my overall work ethic. I was also able to discover the course that I wanted for college. I mean, personally, I have known that I wanted to take IMC since I was in seventh grade, but obviously there's never a way of really knowing if that was meant for me unless you're actually put in that position and actually trying it out. So as an IMC student, one of my electives, I guess, was a marketing class. And my professor is actually a graduate of UA&P. So his requirements, although they were quite heavy, they really allowed me to get a glimpse into the IMC life. His finals for that class was that we had to create a product for Dole, as in the pineapple brand thing. And we had to do market research. We had to come up with a product. We had to create mock-ups and like all of these marketing campaigns for it. And we didn't just do that. We pitched it to people from Dole. He got people to come in to listen to our pitches. And it was from this class, even though this was a really stressful project, that is what really helped me realize that IMC is really my course. That's the course that I really want to take. Even if it's hard, it's challenging, but it's so worth it. It's so fun. And it's just super enjoyable. And you get to work with so many different people. Now, I know that a lot of people don't have this case. So I have friends who ended up realizing that the course that they signed up for isn't really for them. So, of course, like a typical, when you go into college, you can shift out. But the good thing about being in the 6-year program is that you can shift earlier, which gives you more time, to adjust to that course and really see if that's what you want to do. And you're also surrounded by so many people taking those courses that you might be interested in. So it's easier for you to also realize and discover the course that suits you best. Okay, about UA&P though, I know that speaking to my friends from my old schools, a lot of people uh, don't find UNP so enticing because it's a small school. And while that's true, I think that a lot of people fail to realize how many perks come with it. Like for me, I was also quite worried about that in the beginning because I was saying, oh my gosh, I'm going to be put into this bubble. But then once I actually got there, I realized that, it's way easier to make friends. Like pretty much everyone in the batch knows each other. But at the same time, even if you know all these people, there are always going to be new faces. But it's also comforting to see the familiar faces around school. And another thing that a lot of people actually have a misconception about UNP is that it's a religious school. And it actually really isn't. They don't force any religion onto you. Like we do have theology classes, but I actually find those super interesting because they're not telling you to be a certain way. They're just giving you more information so that you can learn more about the topic, which is what any topic should do. Like with anything, you should be willing to learn more. So they're really allowing you to learn more about it. And for me, I came from an all-girls high school, and when I was there, I felt really forced to be religious, I guess, which is what made me stray away from that. But once I got into UANP, I had the freedom to do whatever I wanted, pretty much. But like Miss Mag said, with that freedom comes responsibility. You really need that responsibility to control yourself and to do what's best for you. So when it came to that freedom, I found myself actually reconnecting with my faith and becoming a better student because, yeah, like Miss Mag said, when you have all that freedom, you don't really know where to go, and sometimes that can confuse you a bit and make you overwhelmed. So the more you're responsible with it and you actually use your free will to decide to do what's right, it's also a lot more rewarding, and it really helps you connect more with yourself. So like I mentioned earlier, I have a great community around me, which is the main reason that having this freedom allowed me to develop myself to be better instead of being worse. So yeah, overall, the 6-year program has not only made me a better student, but a better person overall. Because like I said, I was able to ease into everything with a lot of guidance, and that allowed me to stress less and actually focus on learning how to learn, developing my work ethic, and building meaningful relationships. And that's why I really enjoyed UNP. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much for sharing your experience with us, Marianna. You know, I can actually attest to the fact that UA&P challenges senior high school students and brings out the best in us. Um, I for one always thought that. Wait, okay, there. I for one have always thought that I'd only focus on my sport and getting okay grades. But after meeting so many amazing people, both from my batch and the batches above me, I found myself striving to do better in not just academics, but in the organizations I joined as well. And I think that's something a lot of our fellow students also feel towards the culture we have here in UAMP. So now that we're going to the moment you've all been waiting for, the question and answer forum. So for this segment, may I ask all the speakers to please unmute themselves so that you can answer any questions we may have for you. Again, if you have follow-up questions, feel free to place it in the comment section and we will do our best to answer it. So for the first question, I think Ms. Max, you can answer this one. What curriculum is to be expected for a student under the 6YP program? Is the class schedule more hectic for 6YP students considering that the curriculum is compressed?
Okay, so thank you, Franco, for that question. So to answer, just to clarify, I think the question is better phrased if what is the curriculum under the junior college program, because as you have heard earlier, the 6-year integrated program, it's a span of 6 years, and I cannot provide the curriculum for all the 6 years at this point, but I can speak for the junior college program. The class schedule is not necessarily more hectic than other senior high school students, because if you look at the Dep Ed curriculum, it's pretty hectic in itself. So we just matched our liberal education courses with the senior high school total number of course units. So in a sense, it's not, in comparison with other senior high schools, it may not be as compressed or hectic as what was asked, but what makes our curriculum, I guess, a little bit more heavy as compared to other senior high schools is that at this stage, we already introduced them to a lot of liberal education courses, which of course are content heavy. And I think Marianna can be the best person to answer this, just how compressed and heavy it was, because just so you know, just as a fun fact, in junior college, for the first semester, for the year 1 students, meaning those coming in for grade 11, we only had a total of 8 dean's listers for the first semester. And I think that says a lot about how demanding our program is academically. And we're very fortunate to have Marianna, who was actually part of the lucky 8 who made it to the dean's list for the first semester during the her first year in UA&P. So the schedule is not necessarily more hectic. I think it is a manageable schedule, but the academic courses and the demands that we have on our students can be considered a little bit more challenging. Marianna, I'm not sure if you'd like to add anything to that.
Yeah, actually with the schedule, I would say that the schedule is more chill actually, the schedule itself. But yes, the content is definitely challenging, but it really challenges you to learn and do more research on your own. But the time that they give is very reasonable, especially since we have Wednesdays off. That's a really good day that a lot of people spend doing their schoolwork.
Okay, yeah. So thank you, Marianna. So I guess it really depends on what junior high school you're coming from and how you really manage your time as a junior college student. So some students might think that, oh, it's a little bit more chill because I have like blocks of time in between classes. But then the amount of work that you have to come up with, which is like, research papers and reflection papers, it can be a bit more demanding compared to other senior high schools. Dr. Sakido, would you like to add anything to that?
To the schedule.
Yes, and the curriculum.
I can, well, regarding the load actually, because in the standard DepEd curriculum, they require 80 hours per subject, which is if you put in the 80 hours for 8 subjects, you will be there from 7:30 to 4. But in UA&P, we opted not to follow that because DepEd also gives some leeway. So we're following the hours that we use for college courses, meaning the one subject 3 units and so many 57 hours in one semester. That's what we do because, as Marianna said, it includes all the other work that you have to do in group work and research and the like. So we count all of that. In terms of school hours, actually, our schedule is much lighter than most senior high schools. Then regarding the load for the next 4 years, it's a normal load. It's not exactly compressed because what happens is that what we require for the 5-year program, we don't require over the ones in the 6-year program since the students will have taken some of the subjects or many of the subjects in junior college. So actually what remains in the 4 years is very manageable. So in what the DepEd requires for the general education is fully satisfied. We had a little bit more plus the specialized courses. So it's pretty manageable for the 6-year program in the next 4 years.
Okay, so for the next question, are there 6YP programs that are geared towards the STEM graduates?
Okay, I think Dr. Sakido can respond first.
Yeah, so I think to qualify the question because the STEM is in the senior high school. So the 6-year program is for graduates of junior high school. So when you enter the 6-year program, then you that's where you choose whether you want to be in STEM, in HUMS, or in ABM and the like. So our program officially is HUMS because that is what fits well with the content of our curriculum, but it's not exactly HUMS. It's not the official HUMS strand. The DepEd recognized it that this satisfies what HUMS requires and more. And as Marianna mentioned, there are electives in the second year, which allows you to choose subjects which will gear you towards your specialization. So if you're going to take, say, industrial economics or management, you will take a set of subjects that are taken from the ABM strand of senior high school. If you are in going to the humanities, where in IMC, it's more of the ones more from the HUMS strand, but not exactly, you know, it's more unique to us. If you want to take a STEM program, it's not among the master's programs that we have, meaning if from the junior college you want to take a STEM course, it will be a course that is not a master's degree, you know. So we have the industrial engineering, the BS in data science, the BS in information technology, and the education, child education, development education. So if you want to shift to these courses, then you can choose the electives to help you there. For example, those who will go to industrial engineering and data science and IT, they can opt to take a set of electives that are more STEM, like the calculus, the physics and chemistry and the like. Of course, it will depend also on the number of students who would like to go into that stream. So that's, I hope that answers the question.
Great, thank you, Dr. Sakido. And just to add to that, it said in the question, are there 6-year programs that are geared for STEM graduates? So I guess that is assuming that these students have graduated from senior high school with a STEM strand, no? And that would mean that they would come to the university as a college freshman. So in that sense, there is no 6-year program per se for those students because they've already graduated from senior high school. However, what we do offer in the university is we have a course called Health Humanities. So currently we have junior college graduates who have shifted out of their current 6-year programs in order to pursue a course in the medical field in the future. So these are students who would like to pursue being a doctor or a nurse or all of these other courses related to medicine and all that. So they have decided to shift out of, let's say, IMC, and in order to shift into the health humanities. So we do have those courses available. We have the School of Sciences and Engineering that can provide students who are more interested in IT and all these other courses. They may apply for that upon entering college.
Okay, so this next question's actually kind of interesting. What qualities are you looking for in 6YP students?
Okay, this will be interesting. I think I'd like to hear from Marianna first. As a student herself, I think I wouldn't want our audience to just hear from me and from a very authoritative perspective. I'd rather hear from a very realistic expectation, and I think the best way to get that insight is from a student herself. So, Marianna, take it away.
Okay. So in order, like, if you're talking about how to do well in school, I think it's just typically with the other qualities that you need for school in general, good work ethic, teamwork, time management. But I think, yeah, the main thing would be that you need to have good time management. But if you don't have that yet, like me, before I got into the university, I was able to develop it in school. And you definitely need to be willing to learn because there are so many things that, like, there's just so many topics and sometimes they're so broad, and in order to actually understand what your prof is saying, you will need to do your own research just to further understand it. So you need to be like intuitive, I guess. But aside from that, yeah, like just the willingness to learn. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, so you heard it yourself from a student who survived junior college. So I hope I'm not scaring all the parents there, thinking that it's an impossible dream. Marianna is testament to that. She has been a consistent awardee in Dean's Lister. She wasn't always that way in junior high school. And how do I know this? Because I am in fact her mentor, and I've been mentoring her the past 2 years. And as much as I'd like to take credit for all her achievements, that's all Marianna. She managed to do it really well. And what qualities did she have? I think when I was asked to think of a student who can present for the junior college program, I thought of Marianna precisely because she had these qualities that allowed her to thrive in the university. Number one is discipline. It's very important that students who join us for the 6-year integrated program have that sense of discipline and responsibility. They have to have that level of maturity. I'd like to tell you that as much as, I'd want to say that 100% of students who apply to the 6-year integrated program make it to college. Unfortunately, that's not the case because you do have to also find out your child's strengths if they can manage to cope with the demands of junior college. We need students who are very hardworking, can manage their time well. We'd like to think of the 6-year integrated program as an elite program. So it's not just a program for anybody who just wants to, save on one school year of college tuition. No, we're actually looking for students who have that potential for serious study. And I'm saying potential because, we don't want to brand students as early as now, that, they can't achieve much. Like, he was a major slacker in junior high, like probably junior college is not for him, because we have had success stories wherein students who weren't really achieving in junior high school, when they got here and they had the correct mindset and they were provided with all the support that was available to them, and they took advantage of these means, they managed to thrive and to complete the program and proceed to other leadership positions even in university. So I'd like to think of that, the junior college program, as a program that aims to really mold those who are willing to be molded. So there has to be that willingness to learn, there has to be that sense of initiative, there has to be that desire to really become better.
Okay, so for the next question, this one's a little bit more technical. Are there course-specific grade requirements in order for students to advance to college and masters?
Okay, so I think I can answer that. For course-specific grade requirements, for junior college, the requirement in order for you to complete the program is to pass all your junior college subjects. So if you pass all of that, you will be qualified to proceed to the next phase, which is your university studies. And then in order for you to qualify for the master's year level, you'll need to meet the grade requirement required per school. So it depends. If you're from the School of Management, there's a particular grade requirement for that. For the IMC, there's also particular grade requirement in order for you to qualify for the master's. So it really depends on what school you'll eventually be in. For junior college, we're nested within the College of Arts and Sciences. And since we are an equivalent to the senior high school program, we do require that all students have high school diploma before moving on to any college subject. So while it is a 6-year integrated program, CHED will not allow a student who has back subjects in junior college to proceed with the college subjects. Dr. Saquido, would you like to add anything to that?
The one of proceeding to masters, yes, there is a grade requirement. It's generally the same for all programs, but some may have other standards, because when you're coursing the 4 years, after 2.5 years, then you'll have to qualify for the 5th semester, which will be, the 6th semester, because that will be already the master's program. If you don't qualify for that, then you will be streamed to finish the bachelor's. So that last semester will be the completion of the bachelor's degree. So it's, yes, there is a great requirement to proceed at the master's degree.
All right, so thank you, Dr. Saquido.
Okay, so for our final question, aside from a master's degree, what's the top advantage of a 6 UA&P student after graduating from the program?
I think Dr. Saquido perhaps can respond to this.
I don't know how to say it, but we believe in our graduates, and while the product that we would like to create is something like what Steve Jobs described as the products that can make your heart sing, a blend of the humanities and the professional competence, we can say. So I can say thing that is achieved to a greater extent in the 6-year program. Because while the 5-year program is still there, we have our humanities and our specializations. The full curriculum, full core curriculum or liberal education is contained in the 6-year program. It's the more complete program, we can say. So if you go through the whole program, you do well, then we are confident that I think we will have created that person who is, as you say, he has integrity, he's creative, he has concern for the common good, and above all, also professionally competent. Because in the end, that's what the basic thing we should achieve in education, to give you professional competence so you can contribute to society through that. But if we build that on top of the human person who is well formed in the liberal arts, in the humanities, then we say that that person with his competence can contribute more. So I think that's it. Of course, we can say that in general, the ones from the 6YP are better than the 5YP, etc. It's up to each person. But at in terms of content that we deliver, I think the 6YP is the more complete the delivery of our program.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Saquido. Perhaps Marianna could also give us a student's insight on that. What do you think will be your edge over other graduates, like from 5YP or 4YP, or even graduates from other universities? What is the edge of a 6YP student graduate?
I think that when you go in, because being 6YP means that you come in for your junior college or for the senior high school, right? And I think that those are also the ages where you really, discover yourself more, develop yourself as a person. And so with all of the means that the 6-year program provides, you're able to start honing those things at an earlier age, which, like as the sooner you start developing something, the stronger it becomes, right? So especially aside from all of the subjects, like I said a while ago, the most important things are more of the skills and values that I learned, like integrity, like self-discipline, those things. I think that since they're going to be ingrained in you at a much earlier like age and stage in your life, it's also good like for the future. Like for me personally, my mom is actually a professor in the university, and she actually says that her 6 years 6YP like students are super good. Like she sometimes at the dinner table she just says, I'm so impressed with the 6YP students. So there, like it really hones you at a young age.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that, Marianna. So I think the edge of the 6-year program is that these students, like what Marianna mentioned, have a head start in terms of acquiring the skills and the mindset of a liberally educated person. And I think if you ask, like, what else is the benefit of graduating from the 6-year program? I think more than graduating from the 6-year program, we have to look at the benefit of graduating from the University of Asia and the Pacific, and the benefit of that is that we educate minds and hearts. And the edge of the 6-year program is that we begin earlier, like 15, 16, they're already aware with all of these liberal education subjects. It gives them a wider view of the world. It really allows them to engage in a lot of critical thinking, and it allows them to apply also whatever they've learned. So I think we're not just after the master's degree. If you look at it that way, we're after really the formation of people and educating them in all aspects and forming them in all aspects as well. And while Dr. Saquido mentioned that, it's not that the 6-year program has an edge over the 5-year program. Of course, I'm biased because my junior college graduates, I like to think that they do have an edge over those who come in college. In fact, just to share with you a little anecdote, there were some issues before wherein students who were college freshmen who came in at college, they were saying how it was a little bit unfair for them because these junior college graduates were already so accustomed to UA&P. They had like the foundational skills. They were excellent communicators. They could, already engage in a healthy dialogue with their teachers. They were so active in their student organizations. Imagine being a first-year college, which is 36YP, what Marianna is now, and already having a leadership role in a student organization. Other college freshmen who come into UA&P in their college freshman year, it would be very rare for them to have that leadership position, precisely because they're not prepared. They come in from a very different world. And I think the 6-year program really hones the strengths of these students. But of course, like what Marianna mentioned, you have to have that willingness, that openness to learn, and really that resilience and grit to keep up with the demands of the program. So I think after all has been said and done, that is what makes a 6YP graduate special. That capacity to really imbibe the holistic liberal education and the formation aspect that University of Asia Pacific provides. And just so you know, Franco is also part of the 6-year program. And I think our graduates can market our program the best because they are proof that it works. And I don't know, I'm just proud of them. They're my students. So that's it.
You try your best. Okay, so with that, we can officially conclude the 3rd episode of Unitas Online featuring the 6-year program. Thank you so much, speakers. Now, for a few reminders, September 15 would be the start of online applications for everyone. September 21 to October 21 will be the application period for scholars, followed by an online exam on November 7. For those who are not applying for a scholarship, the application period opens at September 15. The admissions process and entrance exam will be administered online for the school year of 2021 to 2022. So that's all for now. Thank you so much, Doc Saquido, Ms. Mags, and Marianna. And thank you so much to everyone for attending this webinar. We hope that this has helped answer all the concerns and questions that you may have had. But if you have any more questions, do not hesitate to message us at the official Facebook page of UA&P or chat us at www.uap.asia. Again, I'm Franco Gaite, your 3rd Unitas Online host, signing off. We look forward to seeing you again in future episodes of Unitas Online. Stay safe, don't forget to sanitize, and wear a mask and a face shield. Thanks, everyone.